So I'm here to talk about health and wellness, but I don't want you to worry. I'm not here to judge your life choices, but I don't either have a magic pill that's going to fix all of your life choices. All I hope is that at the end of this talk, that you might have a perspective shift on what health and wellness is and how you can harness it in your own life. Because I hear people say all the time, oh no. That health and wellness thing, it's not really for me. I mean, why would you want to live a disciplined and a regimented life? I mean, you could be knocked down by a bus tomorrow. But what if you're not? What if you live to, say, 102? How do you want to feel then? How do you want to feel in the decades leading up to that? How do you want to feel right now? And spoiler alert, it doesn't need to be disciplined or regimental. Let me tell you then a little bit about me. I used to be confused about health and wellness. I thought it meant to look a certain way. So I hammered it out in the gym. I counted my calories. I segregated food into good and bad camps, and calories were to be earned and to be burnt off. And in the lead up to my wedding, although I should probably say our wedding, shouldn't I? And look, he was very much involved in the day as well. He did decide to organise a keg of what he would like to drink on the day. But he did also promise to love me on that day as best he could every day, as I did him. And he has upheld that. But back to the story. By the time I got to this glorious day, truly one of the happiest of my life, I had gone so hell for leather with that plan that my body fat had dropped so low that I wasn't getting my period. My digestive system was all over the place. And in many ways, when I look back, I almost dreaded being asked to go for a drink or a meal in case I deviated from the plan. Now, lucky for me, that was not a lifestyle that I could sustain. And we went off on honeymoon and we drank cocktails and ate pizza. And I kind of realized that the sky didn't really fall in. So I took my foot off the gas with the plan. But it still rumbled around in the back of my head for many, many years. Probably till about 5 years ago, when the opportunity to present a health and wellness radio show came my way. And I jumped at the chance because I loved health and wellness. I was renowned with all my work colleagues and my friendship groups for being somebody that was really into it. I knew every fad, every trend, every diet. I had tried every workout class, and I loved personal development and heading on retreat. So I was chuffed to get the job. But when I began to sit in front of experts every week and spend an hour or two really focusing on health and wellness, I began to question how truly healthy I was. Because the truth was, I was absolutely exhausted. I was fed up with fads and yo-yo dieting. And I was also really overwhelmed because I had really found that the message had ramped up. So the messaging on what I should be doing wasn't just coming from the mainstream and the media, because now there was social media and the internet. And I had just got so overwhelmed by it all that I'd really forgotten to just listen to myself. So I decided to embark on a year-long experiment to discover what is true health and wellness. And I worked with a team of experts that I had met through the show. And I looked at things like my emotions and my relationship with my body and food and the psychology of motivation. I threw away food rules and I still kept the gym because I loved the gym, but I looked at different ways of moving my body. And I focused on things like community and fun. And I even included some newbies like spiritual practice, something that I hadn't really thought about for years. And I emerged out the other side with better energy levels, better mental health, and better health outcomes for my future. Now, it does frustrate me a little bit that I wasted so much time on the plan, but when you know better, you do better. So what did I learn that I really want to share with you? I think we're told that it has to be difficult and hard in order to be successful, when the truth is, joy is such an essential part of our health and well-being. And if you're not enjoying something, you're far less likely to feel the benefit of it and to continue with it for a consistent basis. We're also given the idea that there's a one-size-fits-all approach, when there isn't one person here tonight, or even watching this back, who has the same past, the same present, or will have the same future. So everyone's path to health and well-being is going to be unique to them. We're also given this idea that it's a quick fix and a big transformation, when the truth is, it's small, little, tiny steps that build over time. That's what makes the biggest impact. And failure is actually part of the process. We kind of think you start here and then you cruise on up to health utopia up here. But that's not how life works, is it? You take 2 steps forward, 4 back, and so on, as life just evolves and keeps throwing you curveballs. And when you do, I don't know, fall off the wagon or off track, or however you like to describe it, it's not even really failing. It's actually learning. You're learning about yourself and what works for you and what doesn't, and where you feel at your best in life and at your worst, and how you can navigate your way through this. Now, there are lots of things that are actually outside of our control. I think we all know it's a postcode lottery as to where you are born, what you're born into, and what you have access to. So that's obviously going to have a massive impact on your health and well-being. Then there's all the big nasties of the world that we don't even really need to get into, but I'm sure you're aware of them. Inequality, the always-on culture, the food industry, the fact that we make it so difficult for people to get access to mental health supports, all of that plays a role. And people will get sick. It's a very normal and natural part of life. There really should be no shame in a diagnosis. It can happen for a whole host of reasons. You can just be downright unlucky. All we're really trying to do is create the most solid foundation that we can, so that we can withstand what life throws at us the best we can. I'm sure you all remember the kid's story, The 3 Little Pigs. And the pig who was the most successful was the one who ran to the house that was made of bricks. So when the wolf came with the huffs and the puffs, that pig was the one that could stay that bit longer and withstand it. So how do we do it? Well, the pillars of health, and you'll hear many of them, but I think these are 4 good ones to start with, are nutrition, movement, sleep, and connection. And even the smallest of things in these areas will make a massive difference. So maybe cooking 1 meal at home a week, make double, throw the other half in the freezer for next week, then you're better set up for the following week. Arrange to meet a friend for a walk on the beach and a catch up. Then you're ticking so many of those boxes. You're moving your body, you're having connection, you're getting out in nature. But we really need to schedule those times in, because they're just as important as a work meeting or going to the dentist. Now, we do currently work in a crisis model. So we wait for something to go wrong before we seek help. And when we do, we treat the symptoms without ever really asking for any answers to why those symptoms might have come in the first place. And we need the medical system. It is incredible people working within it and incredible advancements. But it is also buckling under the strain of overwhelm. And that's where prevention comes in. Prevention is better than cure. And that is the job of wellness. I had a friend say to me recently, what even is wellness? And he is a very good friend of mine, and teasing between us is absolutely allowed, and I assure you I give as good as I get. But I kind of got what he meant, because I know there's a lot of people like him who think that wellness is this made-up, modern-day mumbo-jumbo designed to help vulnerable people to part with their money. But what if I told you that wellness was first coined back in the 1950s, and the definition is a condition obtained when a person achieves a level of health that minimizes their chances of getting ill. And isn't that what we're all trying to do? Minimize our chances of getting ill. And it comes from a mix of environmental, emotional, social, spiritual, mental, and physical health. Now, you're not going to get all of those needs met in a trip to the GP once every 3 years or in a hospital stay, are you? At one point, that's going to have to come from within, and we need to discover what really is working for us. Breath work, meditation and mindfulness, cold water therapy, journaling, gratitude, these are all wellness practices that are scientifically proven to boost our well-being and reduce the stress levels in our life. And believe me, stress is one of the biggest wolves that can come to our door. So again, we start small. So maybe instead of in the morning hitting snooze for that third time, maybe get up, take your cuppa out into the garden, or as in this country, if the weather doesn't allow, just light a candle and take that time to check in with yourself. Just 10 minutes. How am I? How am I really feeling? What's working for me and what isn't? Because we often hear about self-care and we think of things like a bubble bath or having our hair done. And they are lovely things to do, but if I'm really honest with you, I kind of think that's personal hygiene. Sometimes self-care needs to be setting a boundary or having an uncomfortable conversation or just saying the word no. So maybe instead of binging a series that you're watching, why not savor it? So instead of hitting next, turn off the TV, go up to bed that half an hour earlier and allow yourself to really wind down, to read a good book or to just listen to some nice, relaxing music. And on the days that you do hit snooze and you rush off and you're late for work and you're stressed, or you do sit and gobble up that bubblegum series, we've all been there. Go easy on yourself. Maybe you needed the rest, because how we speak to ourselves is so, so important. And that is the crux of it all. Self-worth. How good do you believe that you deserve to feel? So often we're motivated from a place of self-loathing. We want to make change and change the things that we hate about ourselves. But why don't we flip it and want to change things because we love ourselves? You deserve to feel the best you can for as long as you can. And I truly hope that each and every one of you do live to 102. And I wish you well. Thank you.